President Trump praising the president of the Philippines during their first formal meeting, with the White House saying human rights did come up briefly in the context of the Philippines' fight against illegal drugs, but President Trump tried to keep things positive.
We've had a great relationship. This has been very successful. We have many meetings today with many other leaders. So I think on behalf of everybody, I want to thank you and I want to thank the Philippines.
Joining me now is Meredith Sumter. She's Director for Asia at the Eurasia Group. Thanks for being here. What do you think, as the president closes out his Asia trip, have been the highs and the lows of the last several days?
Well, certainly, Dana. Today, the media is focused on human rights and the South China Sea, with the president closing his trip in Southeast Asia. But the real question is, has the president, at the end of this marathon visit to Asia, won the region over with a vision for U.S. leadership? And the president, during his time at APEC, he gave a speech outlining his vision, the free and open Indo-Pacific. And while generally well received, so long as the White House is focused on bilateral trade at a time when regional leaders are doubling down on multilateral trade, it will be hard to win them over to that vision of U.S. leadership.
Apparently, the president is going to give a speech on Wednesday. He tweeted this morning that he will make an announcement about trade from the White House. I'd be curious if you have any information on those. And if actually, because he's tried to lay the groundwork with some personal relationships where he could pick up the phone, could it possibly make it easier for him in some ways to try to get a bilateral deal with some of the key countries?
Well, that will certainly be what we all will be watching for. And while those positive and constructive ties that he's building in the region will help, what the White House should be focused on is, at the time when the U.S. is continuing to narrow in on bilateral trade deals, the rest of the region is making progress on multilateral trade deals where the U.S. is not party. So we saw during the trip the announcement in principle of the TPP 11 countries moving forward without the U.S., as well as progress made on a regional comprehensive economic partnership. That's the Asia Free Trade Agreement, in which China plays a part. So again, all of the regional leaders in Asia are doubling down on these multilateral trade and investment relationships that are going to move supply chains and really impact where the future of trade and investment lie. And that's really important to this White House as well as to Main Street America.
The president and the National Security Advisor made a big point before they left for the trip that they were going to rebrand this region as the Indo-Pacific, not just the Asia-Pacific region. Do you expect something more to come from the president when it comes to bringing India more into the brand that he's looking at?
Absolutely, and this is something to watch. You know, for sure, President Trump and Prime Minister Modi had a positive bilateral meeting during his trip. As well, what I would watch for is progress, not just in U.S.-India ties, but in conversations between the U.S., India, Australia, and Japan. This is called the Quartet. And such consultations are happening, I'm told, at the Assistant Secretary level. This is an important development that could, if further cultivated, impact geostrategic relations throughout the region.
And hopefully with more trade, there would be more peace and security, because the president started off his trip, of course, dealing with the most pressing foreign policy problem right now, which is North Korea and its ambitions for nuclear weapons. Meredith Sumter, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.